Hey there, you guys, and welcome to Grieving Yourself Away. I am your host, Leslie. I've had some technical difficulties this morning, so hopefully I got all that situated. We'll see. My computer says that the storage is full, and there isn't really a whole lot, but when you do updates and stuff, that uses up your storage, so you inevitably have to just buy more storage. It's frustrating, so I'm going to see how long I can get through this because I already started recording, and the other audio... It ended up being splotchy, cutting in and out, and just all this other stuff. But anyways, welcome to Grieving Yourself Away. I'm your host, Leslie. And I know that the name of this brand can really be confusing to a lot of people. And over the years, while I've had sort of a vision, I haven't seen the full picture. I hadn't got it painted out. But the reality of grieving yourself away, because it's just simply a name, and there's going to be a level of grief that you experience when you're in a phase of an adjustment, when a piece of you is dying off. That's why grieving is a part of the name. But essentially, what this is about is you getting rid of that fantasy role that you had created, the curated version of yourself that you chose to further your chances of survival, to fulfill that need for love and belonging that you have, getting rid of that person and stepping into the fullness of who it is you are, embracing and embodying you alone. Now, of course, this doesn't mean that there's not some exceptions. We all know morality, okay? We all know that there are things that are morally right and morally wrong. So the real thing you need to ask yourself in this instance, when you're trying to decide who it is you are, who it is you want to become, and you're trying to step into that, is what I am planning to do, enabling somebody's ability to do something, or posing a threat to their life. If the answer to both of those questions is no, what is stopping you from doing those things? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. The only thing that is stopping you is you. That fear of judgment that you have. That fear of rejection. The fear of abandonment. But just because somebody doesn't like something specifically that you like, or just because you have a particular skill set that somebody else doesn't have, does not mean that you should not pursue those things. Because you absolutely should. The whole point of community has to do with the fact that we are capable of doing an abundance of things, but we are limited in our capacity to be able to do those things. And we need people doing different things in order for society to properly function. So when someone wants to put you down, they want to degrade you for something that you enjoy doing, maybe you like to knit, so crochet, whatever the case may be, especially in today's time, being a younger person who likes to do those things, and someone wants to call you a grandma, tell them, hell yeah, I am a grandma. Embrace it, embody it, don't get offended by it. Be happy that you have a skill set that they don't have. There's absolutely no reason to get put down just because somebody else doesn't like what you're doing. Because I guarantee you, there are also things that they do that you don't like that they do. Like, putting you down. But there's nothing absolutely wrong with it. And if someone wants to make fun of you, should that be a person that's really in your life? I would say no, that's not a person that I need to have around. If what I'm doing is not harmful, so be it. If you don't like it, take it somewhere else. If you want to solely just focus in on me, you must not have a whole lot going on in your life to keep you occupied, to keep you entertained enough to not hate on other people. And as much as I hate to quote David Goggins, but I think he's absolutely right in the fact that no one who is above you is trying to pull you down. And he is absolutely right in that. Now, I'm not an I don't watch his content, let me make that abundantly clear, but I have heard that quote from him, and I have heard several people quote it. But just because certain things about people aren't necessarily good doesn't necessarily mean that they're entirely wrong in every facet of life. Because let's face the reality of it, we all have room to grow. No matter what age we are at, we have room to grow. We are never going to be all-knowing. And that is one thing that you also have to step into when embracing the fullness of who it is you are. That is accepting the fact that you are not going to be perfect at everything, that you are going to make mistakes, that you are not going to know it all, and that is okay. You can accept that. That is something that you are going to have to accept. As hard as it is. The more that you are in denial or rejection of something, the harder you're making things on yourself. I want to repeat that so that can settle in. The more you are in denial or rejection of something, the harder things are going to be for you. Pain isn't always a choice. The vast majority of things in life are a choice. Pain is not always a choice, but what is a choice is suffering. Suffering is the continuation of that pain. And when you refuse to accept something, that is where you're going to find suffering. And it is completely up to you on whether it is you suffer or not. It is completely up to you if you continue to live life the way that you do, even with as miserable as you may be. Because I'm not going to lie, trying to make improvements to your life is not easy. It is not comfortable. I've been doing it for several years, and it is just over the last couple of weeks where I'm just finally starting to step into myself, where I'm starting to actually really feel like myself again. I'm really stepping in and figuring out the things that I want to do, that I like to do. What sort of valuable contributions do I have to provide to society? That is what you need to figure out first and foremost. And you may not get it right on the first try. You may start to do something and realize this isn't for me. Pivot, move to the next thing and figure it out. You may be going on a particular road and hit a dead end. It doesn't mean that that road has ended. You might just need to go back and take a detour to the destination. And you know, that could be hard. Because you spent so much time that inevitably just got wasted. And that's another big fear that a lot of people have. That's one that I have. I don't want to waste my time. My time is the most valuable thing that I have in life. And that's the only thing that we can't get back. We don't get more of it. We don't have a reset button. We don't get to rewind. But that doesn't mean that we need to dwell on the fact that we did end up wasting time. And I know that can be a hard concept because I am someone who dwells on the past so much. I don't ever talk about it, but I dwell on it. I have a hard time with it. But it is something that I've acknowledged and I'm working toward not doing because there's nothing I can do about that time. It's gone. Other than simply accept it. But with that being said, if you guys have any sort of questions, please let me know. Send me an email at grievingyourselfaway@gmail.com and I will surely get to those questions. Go follow me on TikTok, Wacko Woman. Also, same thing over on Instagram, but I believe on Instagram it's Wacko_woman. Because just Wacko Woman was already taken on over there. Yeah. I also have a Grieving Yourself Away page, but I don't ever really use that one. I just simply use the Wacko Woman page. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I want to be fully open. I want to be fully transparent. Because life is not something that we should be ashamed about. It happens. We mess up. But as long as we're willing to acknowledge it and move on from it, everything should be fine. But that is all that I have for you guys today. Thank you for listening, and hopefully you tune in for the next one. Bye, guys.